Welcome back. The Trump administration claims state authorities in Minnesota are releasing what they describe as dangerous criminals onto the streets. Minnesota's top corrections official is denying those allegations. CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Sganga spoke directly with him about all of this and joins us now. Nicole, good morning. What did he tell you?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. Well, ICE says that it has taken hundreds of dangerous migrants off the streets in this region. It also accuses state and local officials of interfering with federal agents, even letting some of these suspects go. But CBS News actually reviewed state records that suggest some of those alleged criminals were already in prison or under law enforcement supervision. To your question, Errol, Minnesota's top corrections official, his name's Paul Schnell, he's the commissioner here. He seemed astonished by the Trump administration's claims that the state is releasing criminals. Does it feel like the Department of Homeland Security is lying when it says that state authorities are not cooperating?
It is fundamentally false. We cooperate with ICE and ICE detainers. We have, as a matter of policy, done that for a long, long time.
As ICE raids have unfolded across the Twin Cities, the Trump administration has accused state leaders of protecting the worst of the worst.
The best solution is to turn them over to us in a safe, controlled setting like a jail or prison.
But Minnesota Corrections Commissioner Paul Schnell says that's already common practice.
As they approach their release date several weeks before, our staff coordinates directly with the local ICE office. Staff do this on a routine basis. They make arrangements for the transfer of custody of that individual.
For months, the Department of Homeland Security has released lists of mugshots. Alleged criminals, it says, were seemingly tracked down and arrested by ICE. But Schnell told us that's not completely true.
These are people that they're in our system or have been in our system, but they were released.
These worst of the worst criminals weren't swept up by ICE on city streets.
No, they were released to ICE.
In one example, Schnell said his department turned these two state prisoners over to immigration officials on January 12th. The next day, both appeared in a DHS press release highlighting people who'd been arrested in ICE operations. That same release also claimed state leaders, quote, will not let us into their jails.
Coordinated that transfer of custody, and the next day they showed up on a DHS list of among
the worst
these people,
of the worst list.
Among the worst of the worst. And yet, exactly what should have happened, happened.
You say you need it to stop.
We need them to stop telling stories that are simply untrue. That we will and do coordinate on the transfer of custody of people who are subject to ICE detainers, and we'll continue to do that, period.
We should add that Minnesota Corrections said they didn't even have criminal records for some of the alleged felons that ICE says they arrested. Now, we have reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for clarity here. They did not address the discrepancy in numbers, Errol, but in a statement urged all elected Minnesota officials to cooperate with ICE law enforcement.
Fascinating to hear that perspective. Nicole, thank you.